Donald Trump's worst fears confirm. Russian President Vladimir Putin claims to have invincible nuclear weapons. The Pentagon hits back, says the US is prepared to defend themselves, come what may. It's been 4 days since the so-called daily 5-hour humanitarian pause in Ghouta came into effect, but residents of the battered enclave ask, where is a ceasefire? Let's take a look at some of the top news from across the globe. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley has visited Guatemala's Naval Special Forces base in Puerto San Jose during a trip to the country. Haley's visit comes after U.S. President Donald Trump last month criticized countries he did not name for pouring drugs into the United States and called for aid to be stopped. Trump made his remarks after a U.S. Customs and Border Protection official told him cocaine was mainly coming from Colombia and Peru through Mexico and Central America. Haley's first visit to Central America is also shedding light on U.S. foreign policy for the second year of Trump's administration. Guatemala and Honduras were among the 8 countries and the only nations in America to vote no with the United States to reject the UN resolution, which was adopted with the support of more than 120 countries. Temperatures fell to minus 20 degrees Celsius in Poland with double cold air from both Siberia and the North Pole, causing at least 7 deaths this week. According to the Polish government, the death toll has brought the total number of cold-related weather deaths to 61 since the beginning of winter. Temperatures in the Carpathian Mountain in the early morning of Thursday was minus 27.8 degrees Celsius, and the temperature in capital Warsaw was about minus 18 degrees Celsius. The sudden drop in temperature has had an impact on Polish people, forcing them to dress in layers. According to the local meteorological and hydrology authority, the frosty conditions are set to continue until the end of the week. Russian President Vladimir Putin has addressed Russia's success in the defense sector in 2017, demonstrating a series of the country's new weapons. It was Putin's 14th State of the Union annual address to the country's Federal Assembly on Thursday. Nearly 2,000 people, including members of the Russian government, heads of the Russian Constitutional and Supreme Court's members of State Duma and representatives in each field were in attendance during the speech. The address lasted nearly 2 hours, during which Putin reviewed and summarized the country's achievements in 2017, including areas such as economic, society, domestic and foreign affairs, before adding his vision for future policies and development prospects. Meanwhile, the U.S. has accused Russia of developing destabilizing nuclear weapons in violation of its treaty obligations after Russian President Vladimir Putin delivered a speech unveiling a new array of nuclear weapons. State Department spokeswoman Heather Nauert said Putin's speech showed Russia had violated its obligation under the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. She also criticized an animated video played during his remarks, saying it appeared to depict an attack on the United States. Putin's remarks were greeted with skepticism in Washington, where officials cast doubt on whether Russia has added any capabilities to its nuclear arsenal beyond those already known to the U.S. military and intelligence agencies. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern received a ceremonial welcome hosted by Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, her first official engagement while visiting Australia. Ardern inspected the Guard and greeted dignitaries at Sydney's Admiralty House before sitting down to a bilateral meeting with Turnbull. During her one-day visit to Sydney, Ardern will also hold a joint news conference with the Australian Prime Minister. Ardern announced that she was pregnant to much fanfare from Labour and women's rights groups on January the 19th. Harvey Weinstein won't be going to Sunday's Oscar ceremony, but the film producer's presence is still being felt in Hollywood. Los Angeles-based street artist Plastic Jesus unveiled a statue called Casting Couch, depicting a life-size Weinstein clothed in a bathrobe, sitting on a golden-colored couch and holding an Oscar. It was installed near the Hollywood venue where the Academy Award ceremony will be held. A Plastic Jesus said the Weinstein statue was a collaboration with the artist Joshua Ginger Monroe and took 2 months to produce. It was paid for by donations through their websites. Another mass abduction of schoolgirls in the dusty and remote northeast Nigeria has exposed how little progress has been made in the fight against Boko Haram terrorists. It showed that security is a major weakness for President Muhammadu Buhari, with less than a year to go before elections, which he is widely expected to contest. The kidnap of the 110 girls, mostly aged 11 to 19 in the town of Dapchi almost 2 weeks ago, bears uncomfortable similarities to Boko Haram's 2014 abduction of more than 270 schoolgirls from Chibok. Venezuela has postponed its upcoming presidential vote to May 20th in a move cementing an opposition split as socialist incumbent Nicolas Maduro seeks re-election despite an economic crisis and global censure. The National Election Board said it had pushed the vote back from the original date of April 22nd following a pact between Maduro's government and some opposition parties. The main opposition coalition is boycotting the poll, saying it is a farce intended to legitimize a dictatorship. Now, Maduro's two strongest opposition rivals are both barred from standing, and most Venezuelans view the election board as answerable to Maduro. Heroin and fentanyl exports from Mexico to the U.S. are on the rise, according to a report by the International Narcotics Control Board, backed by the UN Office on Drugs and Crime. The report that tracks narcotics consumption and production throughout the world said that 3/4 of the cocaine consumed in Mexico comes from Mexico and Central America, the International Narcotics Board noted. The Lantern Festival is traditionally associated with dragon and lion dances, but people are now being more innovative and creative, adding performances such as lobster and fish dances. It is a celebration that falls on the 15th day of the first lunar month and marks the final day of the Spring Festival. Performers in East China's provinces are taking part in magnificent dragon dances, a way of praying for blessings and good luck. To some, participating in the event is not only a way to honor their ancestors, but also a way to exercise. More than 40 artworks were on show during the Copenhagen Light Festival in Denmark's capital city. Artworks took over municipal buildings, parks and national institutions with the installations Eternal Sundown by Jacob Kivist and Celebration of Darkness by Jesper Kong-Schorg. The month-long festival that finishes on Friday featured a 1-kilometer laser beam crossing the city between Tivoli and Nicolaj Church. Prince William will be the first senior British royal to make an official visit to the Palestinian territories. The historic trip is planned for this summer. The Duke of Cambridge will be visiting Israel, Jordan and the occupied Palestinian territories. Prince William has never been to West Asia before and will be going without his wife Kate, who is due to give birth to their third child in April. Both Israeli and Palestinian officials have welcomed the trip. Thousands of pensioners took to the streets of Madrid against the Spanish government, demanding higher state pensions. Heavy rain didn't deter the protests, which began in front of Spain's finance ministry and then moved to the national parliament a couple of blocks away. Now, holding umbrellas and chanting slogans like "Shame on you" or "Yes we can," pensioners voiced their discomfort with the government of Mariano Rajoy. A blast of Siberian weather, dubbed as the beast from the east, has led to a dip in temperatures across Europe. In the United Kingdom, the weather has gone from freezing to life-threatening. Parts of the country are bracing up for 50 centimeters of snow as Storm Emma worsens conditions. A highly unusual red weather warning for snow is in force for southwest England and South Wales until Friday. Roads, railway and airports have been severely hit. Former Catalan leader Carles Puigdemont is all set to withdraw his candidacy for president of the Spanish northeastern region. According to reports, Puigdemont will be replaced by another candidate. The Catalan leader is expected to propose the name of pro-independence campaigner Jordi Sanchez, who is currently held in Madrid on charges of sedition. Moving on, India celebrating the Festival of Colours, Holi today. The Holi celebration marks the start of spring. The festival is of great significance, while the first day is observed as Holika Dahan, signified as the victory of good over evil. Despite the festival originally associated with Hinduism, people of all religions and walks of life take part in the celebrations. People celebrate the festival by splashing colours on each other. People invite their neighbours and greet them with sweets and other delicacies. Devotees also participated in the religious festival of Latmar Holi, where women beat the men with sticks in the town of Barsana in Uttar Pradesh. The women in Barsana village beat men with a wooden stick as men teased them during Latmar Holi festival celebrations. Devotees climbs the stairs of Radha temple before the Latmar Holi festival in the legendary hometown of Radha, consort of Hindu god Krishna in Barsana. Karti Chidambaram, arrested in the INX media case, has been remanded to 5 days of CBI custody by a Delhi court. Now, Karti's custody has been till March 6 after the CBI contended that there were shocking evidences of what he has done when he went abroad and closed bank accounts in which funds were allegedly received. Karti was produced before the court on Thursday on expiry of 1 day CBI custody amidst the presence of his father, P. Chidambaram. Additional Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing for CBI, maintained that his was not a case of political vendetta and the investigation was going on in accordance with Article 21 of the Constitution. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday said the fight against terrorism and radicalization was not against any religion, but against a mindset that misguides the young to commit wrong. PM Modi also remarked that Muslims must have Quran in one hand and a computer in the other. PM Modi stressed on the strength of plural heritage and diversity of Indian society against extremism. PM Modi said, and I quote, "People who attack humanity in the name of religion don't understand that the biggest casualty of their attacks is the very religion that they claim to stand for, unquote. State Bank of India, the country's largest lender, has increased marginal cost-based lending rates across most maturities effective immediately. SBI raised one-year MCLR rate to 8.15% from 7.95%. And this is the first time SBI has raised the one-year benchmark rate since the inception of a new lending rate system in April 2016. The rate revision from SBI comes just a day after the bank raised interest rates on fixed deposits across most maturities. The Central has approved a stringent fugitive economic offenders bill that provides for confiscation of assets even without conviction in cases where economic offenders flee the country. Such persons will be tried under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The draft bill is aimed at deterring absconders like jeweler Nirav Modi, who fled the country and has not returned to face trial in the Punjab National Bank fraud case. Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said the government won't allow people to make a mockery of the law, that they first indulge in loot and then leave the country to avoid the law. The provisions of the bill will apply to persons against whom an arrest warrant has been issued for a scheduled offence, as well as willful bank loan defaulters with outstanding loans of over 100 crore rupees. Odisha Chief Minister and Biju Janata Dal President Naveen Patnaik has said his party would soon announce the names of candidates for the 3 Rajya Sabha seats of the state to fall vacant in April. Elections to 3 RS seats in Odisha will be held at the tenure of Dilip Tirki, U. Singh Dio and BJP-backed independent candidate A.V. Swamy would end on April 3rd of 2018. As per the Election Commission of India, notification for the election would be issued on March 5th, while last date of nomination is March 12th. Elections will be held on March 23rd to win the Rajya Sabha election in the state. A candidate needs 37 first preference votes, State Assembly officials said. Canadian Prime Minister continues to face criticism over an invitation to a Sikh extremist during an event on his trip to India. The Trudeau's Liberal Party managed to tackle a bid by the opposition to force Trudeau's National Security Advisor Daniel Jean to appear before a House of Commons committee to explain why he told reporters that factions in the Indian government had orchestrated the invitation. India's External Affairs Ministry has rejected Jean's theory as baseless and unacceptable.